So there's a theme at the dentist and our health. And we go through to this at the dentist, vocabulary. So all of this text here, all of the text in the colored boxes is text that learners have inputted. They've done that as groups. So I like to know what kind of words, what kind of vocab they have as we begin the lessons. So it's done as a group of 3 here. They're talking together, and then using their phones, they will input these words. I also like to know individually what each learner has contributed. I don't ask for all the words, just 3 each, so I know what kind of vocabulary each learner has. And then here's the whole group's work. So nouns, verbs, and adjectives are connected with a theme. I collect some of those up and put them into a word cloud just to make it attractive. We can do work on that, which are the nouns, which are the verbs and adjectives, and so on. And the grammar component of the lesson comes in here. It's present, continuous, positive. We're looking at negative and questions as well. So this is, again, filled in by the learners, having discussed it together and having a presentation from me. Then they'll go on to this more meaty section, which is the sentence work. They use some of the words which they've gathered before and take them to make sentences. Yeah, I just think it's so much easier when you've already got a certain number of words to work with. We work with those original words, going on there to look at the negative and yeah, more of the same. So yeah, this is the bones of our book, DigiBook. This is a particular exercise, a reading exercise, looking at the purpose of the type of text and then the purpose of the text. So learners get to discuss this, look at it, and look on the board or look on their phones, because all of this work is on the phones. So this work is done at home and in class. Right, so we've had a quick look at the book itself, and now let's look at the design of it. Well, I'll start off by looking at the size. It's very important for me to have a size correct. I like to use a A4 format so that it's easy to display on a phone screen. We share the document, so everybody has it on their phone and they're able to edit it on their phone. But then it's also able to be printed. We'll put it into an A4 format. Yeah, so the first thing I normally do is to get a good cover. Yeah, so making sure that we have copyright free stuff, and yeah, put it on there. It's attractiveness as well as clarity and simplicity are bywords for me. So we'll go on here to the vocabulary page, and that consists of a table of 3 columns. And let's have a look, 3 columns and 2 rows, in fact. Right, I've got 3 there. Let's go delete the bottom row. In fact, the bottom row should be a merged row. This is where everybody's individual work goes. So actually, let's add another 3 columns to this. Yeah, add another 3 columns. There's a reason for that. Insert 3 columns to the right. Good. Now, the reason for that is that I have the subject pronoun to put in here. It might be I. It's not I. Let's start with the subject pronoun, or in this case, the article, the, and then subject pronoun I, and then we've got the subject. It is, and you can recognize that what's going to go in here are nouns, verbs and adjectives. We're not going to put all of the subject pronouns or all of the determiners here. Simply put down one as an example. So then I'll just color that, color it. Let's put a gradient there, make it pretty, great, and light, green, and then another gradient. Let's make that purple, and then the last one, orange, well, let's say yellowish, shall we? Yeah, great. Nothing too distracting. So now in this box, the learner will put particular nouns, vocab. I'm not going to mess about too much with fonts here, but I do like to make sure that it's attractive. So it'll be that we're looking at dentist, grill, tooth. Oh, what's the what else will there be? Chair, brush, and so on. We're just reminding them that they need to use an article or a determiner. So I might put each or something like that. Yeah, each, and making it clear that these are alternatives. Right, I drill, good, I clean, and so on. And it is for vocabulary, it is dirty, or what else? It is harmful, yeah. So that's bacteria or whatever. And then at the bottom, they'll put in their names and put in particular words that they've thought of as individuals. I'll just duplicate this copy and paste it here. So now this is enough for 9 learners to be working on in the groups that they'll be in. That's great. So let's pass on from there to present continuous positive. So this is a grid that I'll use, and the grid will consist of 1, 2, 3, 4 columns and 3 rows. Let's insert 4 columns and 3 rows. There you go. And let's put our subjects in. I, the next one, you, we, they, yeah, that'll do. I like to put in a name there as well. He, she, it. Let's just put a name in there. Let's say Lilia. Lilia. Then that would mean that Lilia is the one who's responsible for this. Or we can put Lilia and Joy. So we know that they've been working on this. I, you, we, they, Lilia. Oh, I should say Lilia and Joy. Yeah. Then want an individual one there. Right. So that's the subject pronoun or subject. And then here we have a room for the main, for the auxiliary verb. Is, no, it's are and is. So off we go. I like to follow that. Learners do this after having spoken together, after looking online or hearing an explanation or having this elicited from them. So there we go. Let's put those in. And then here we go. I'm going to make sure that this is both centered and in this particular box, it will be to the right. Good. So we want to merge these boxes and to say, let's say clean, clean. I am clean. Let's make it bigger, shall we? Big enough. Let's make that 24. Right, clean. And we'll do the same here. Merge the cells and center this and make sure it's 24 as well, same size. Good. And then ing, our ing ending goes here, just to emphasize its importance. Yeah, making sure that it goes to the correct place. So we've got blue text here. So I'm cleaning, and so there you go. I would then make further boxes, and yeah, so again, there's enough for 9 learners to be working on this. Enough for 9. And it's easy to duplicate a page. It would take literally 1 second to duplicate a page to make that 9 into 18. That is part of the beauty of working with this software, these kind of techniques. Right, so great. And then finally here, we have room for some sentences, like sentences in which learners use the vocabulary that we've been working on earlier. So let's insert a table, 1, 2, 3, and let's make it 10, shall we? 3 columns by 10, going at a quick rate here, 10. I'd like to make sure that we've got number 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9. Why? Because if I ask learners to enter their names and don't specify where, that we'll all end up looking at box 2 or 4 or whatever, rather than having an even spread. So in these boxes, they'll enter their names. Let's put boy again and Ahmed. I'll tell them you're number 1, number 2, and so on. And then they get a chance to put the present continuous. I am walking to the dentist now. Yeah, so they'll maybe put 3 in. I get a chance to use a substitution key to just double click and we've got a tick there, or I could have a cross. It means that marking can be done instantaneously. We can comment as we go along. I'm going to make this longer here. I'm going to just have one here. She is brushing her teeth. Great. What I would do then is to go to a Google picture. Let's get this one, shall we? And let's drag that into position. It's too big. It's a bit childish, but there you are. Yeah, and we'll just get rid of the lines there. Good. And get rid of this as well. And I'd like to make this larger and bold because it's a caption. So we teach about captions at this point. So there you go. This can be done at home, in class, at college or whatever. And here we go. I encourage my learners to put the time and date that they do it with if they're at home. So where are we? The 20th of June 2023, and also to write down the time so that I can show off to my managers. Look at the kind of engagement that we have here. And they put that in, I make it smaller so that we're able to see it, but it doesn't interfere with the overall look. Right, so they'll be doing that at home. That, as far as the grammar side of things, is